Hey everybody, hope you're having a good summer. I'm having a good one. So for my budget interview, I interviewed Sylvia at Athletic Edge. Athletic Edge is a small indoor baseball, softball facility. I've actually done some pitching instructions there. And they also have teams as well, which I'll kind of get into in a little bit. But Sylvia and then her husband Teddy are the co-owners of the business, and it's a small business, so they pretty much do everything. They do the marketing, all the finances, all the budgeting, the management of it. They even give some of the lessons. They do everything, all the hiring and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, like I said, it's a facility, do softball, baseball lessons, and runs a few teams. So when I was kind of asking Sylvia about the budget stuff, she said because her business is a small business and it's family owned, it probably looks a little bit different than most businesses. So they don't actually have any specific budget style. From what I could kind of guess, it was a little bit of just forecasting and maybe zero based budgeting. But again, she didn't really mention any of those things, and it seemed pretty loose overall. Um, what they kind of do for their budget, they're very reactionary towards their clients. So they know that during the fall and winter months that their business is going to increase quite a bit just because that's when there's snow on the ground, they have an indoor facility, and that's right before baseball and softball season. So they know that their clientele is going to pick up then, but then in the spring and summer months, it definitely slows down quite a bit because that's during season and people can go outside anyways. So they can kind of forecast and mess with their numbers there. But overall, it just seemed really reactionary to whatever they get in lessons and rentals. They know that they're going to have to kind of keep up the facility with that budgeting style. Um, so I kind of mentioned the teams before. That was one big task. This was their first year having teams. And she actually said that this was a kind of a big miscalculated thing in their budget because they thought they would make a lot more money. But again, it was their first year; they didn't really know what to do. So when they held the tryouts, they're thinking they would get about 3 to 4 teams, and they already had a couple coaches lined up, and then the rest they thought they could manage themselves really easily. But when tryouts came, they had a ton of kids, and they actually have about 8 or 9 teams there. And so because of that, they didn't really want to turn people away because people were willing to put up the money for it. And so they had to hire a few more coaches and then another facility kind of help manager that just kind of does everything. And so because of that, they actually miscalculated the budget by quite a bit. And by taking on all these teams, they thought they would make a lot more money just because they had all this money coming in, but they didn't realize how much their expenses would grow because of it. And so they're still making money off of these teams, but not near as significant as they were hoping. Um, and so they even mentioned, I think, next year that they're maybe going to do teams, but it's really likely not because they do most of their finances and benefits are from private lessons overall. Um, so I thought that was something just kind of a little different, a little bit interesting. Another thing I learned is she had a big tip of knowing your business, especially if you're going to hire an outside source. So when they first started, they didn't have a lot of money, about $25,000 to start the business, and they hired a financial manager to help them do the budget, help them kind of get things going. And they didn't exactly know what the expenses were in their business just because they were brand new at it. And so it ended up being that this financial advisor basically was slowly embezzling money from them. But again, they didn't know, they didn't catch on for months because they didn't know their business well enough. So that was one tip from Sylvia that was very, very prominent was know your business, know where your money should be going out. That way you don't have anything unfortunate happening like that. But overall, it was a really good experience, and that's it. Thank you.